Good evening. Welcome to the Alamo. Thank you all for being here for what is an historic event. I'm Becky Denon, Director of the Alamo. Before we begin, I want to be sure to recognize some individuals who are here who are not going to be a part of the signing, but who have played a very important role in today's events. I want to point out, first of all, the board members for the Alamo Endowment. Thank you for coming. We have with us Hope Andrade, Welcome Wilson, Jean Powell, Red McCombs, and Ramona Bass. Thank you. We also had word that we would have Congressman Lloyd Doggett here with us. Also want to recognize members of the advisory group, the Citizens Advisory Group that will play a role in helping us with the master plan. Those who are here, I believe, Rick Galindo, Davis Phillips, Betty Boucher, Ramon Vasquez, Bill Brindle, Sue Ann Pemberton, Sharon Skrobarsek, Anthony Edwards, Boone Powell. Those are our Citizen Advisory Group. Thank you all for coming. From City of San Antonio, Sarah Esserlew, Shannon Miller, Ed Guzman, if you're here, thank you. I know you've put a lot of work and effort into this. Also want to recognize City Councilman Roberto Trevino and Rebecca Villagran. Thank you for your support. Want to recognize Mayor Howard Peak. Thank you, sir, for all you've done. Also looking forward to a lot of great work together on World Heritage. That's Susan Shandoa. She is with Los Compadres. And then Suzanne Scott with the River Authority. Okay. We stand here today in front of one of the most revered landmarks, not just in San Antonio, not just in Texas, but in the world. Thanks to the dedication and support of the political and business leaders you will hear from next, we will now work together to create a space worthy of the reverence that it deserves. First, we'll hear from Mayor Ivy Taylor. She's been serving our city for more than 6 years, first as District 2 City Councilwoman, now as mayor following her election in June. She has her master's degree in city and regional planning and is a champion for the citizens of San Antonio on a host of issues during her tenure here. Now we are fortunate because she is a champion also of the Alamo and the other historic missions in San Antonio. Please welcome Mayor Ivy Taylor.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Well, as you know, the City of San Antonio has been working with our community partners to bring the Alamo Complex and the San Antonio missions to the forefront to help ensure that our preservation and enhancement of this irreplaceable site is respectful of its important history. Now, a few months ago, I was in Germany with some of you for the World Heritage Designation announcement, and I will tell you it was a thrilling moment. The designation of our Alamo and the Spanish colonial missions as a UNESCO World Heritage Site was a validation of both our deep pride in our heritage and our most ambitious aspirations for our community. It was truly a great victory for all of us, for the city, for the state of Texas, and the United States, as we're now one of only 23 designated sites in the entire U.S. The designation was the culmination of many years of hard work by many people, from those who preserved the Alamo and the missions in the 19th and 20th century, to those who worked on the application process, to those who traveled to Germany to hear the announcement in July. Now that was a great day, but this is also a great day. This partnership opens the door to creating the very best design and plan, and it means that we will have the ability to build what we envision. We want the experience of visiting the Alamo to be on par with other renowned historic landmarks and battlefields in our country, including Gettysburg, Valley Forge, Williamsburg, the Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island, and Jamestown. Commissioner Bush and I are committed to a process that incorporates ideas from throughout the community and from experts across the country, and is not just appropriate, but rather sets a standard for excellence. And together, we'll redevelop this most beloved landmark so that visitors see a complete historic interpretation of the Alamo and our rich and layered history. And so I would like to thank all the members of the City Council for their support of our actions today. I'd like to give special thanks to Councilwoman Villagran who's been dedicated to the missions and the Alamo and helped champion that World Heritage designation. So thank you very much, Rebecca. Now I'll ask Jean and Cheryl and Ann and Councilman to stand as we sign the official agreement to make this official. All right.
And with the stroke of a pen, ladies and gentlemen, we have a brand new beginning. I'd like to invite Jean Powell.
How do you follow that? Thank you, everyone, for being here today. And in the audience and at the table and around the back of the group here, I see numerous people who have for many, many years worked so hard to bring us to this beginning. And I want to thank all of you, from being a citizen of the state of Texas and a citizen of South Texas and San Antonio. Thank you to every one of you for what you've done to preserve this place, the missions, the history of San Antonio. It's now our job to take this forward for the next several years and really turn this mission, the iconic Alamo and the Battle of 1836 that makes it so special, into a part of that World Heritage designation that we were all so proud of a few months ago. And the board of the Alamo Endowment has come together since March of this year, and I'm here representing them and my fellow board members that are here in the audience and were introduced earlier. They all have a commitment to doing the very best job in replanting this place, while at the same time honoring those who fell here on behalf of all of us. And I will commit to you as chairman of the Alamo, Remember the Alamo Foundation, that we will do a great job. We will find the right people. We will find the right professionals. We will take the time, but at the same time, move this process along and not let it dally. And we will do something here that all of us can be proud of. And whenever I falter just a little bit, I have something to push me along, and that's my good friend Red McCombs, who won't let things sit idle for very long. So thank you all for being here. Thank you to the City Council for pulling this together. Thank you to the mayor, who has had to leave. Thank you to Cheryl and her staff, and to Lori, and to the councilman and Councilman Trevino. Thank you so much. As a fellow native of South Texas, some of you all might have heard this morning that when the councilman and I first started visiting, we realized that we grew up 16 miles from each other in the Rio Grande Valley and have that special bond of those people that have grown up and lived on the river. So thank you, Councilman, for seeing this as something so special, stepping into that breach and working so hard to put together this group. And the coordinated group of the GLO, the Alamo Endowment, and the City of San Antonio are going to do something special that's not been done in the last 100 years. And as you watch the process, we will do everything within our power to make you very proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Gene. I'm very grateful for your commitment and all that you've done to the state, and we know you're going to do something great along with the endowment, along with the GLO, and in partnership with the city. We're very excited, and as Gene mentioned, we did grow up about 16 miles from one another. Many of you know me as your councilman for District 1. I'm an architect by trade, but I'm an avid historian. But most people don't realize I also went to Davy Crockett Elementary, so I think it's kind of neat that I'm standing up here right now. So I have a deep, deep appreciation for this place and the part it played in the growth of San Antonio. Although it is most famous for the Great Battle in 1836, the history dates back to the early 18th century as a mission when San Antonio was first established. We have a great responsibility to tell the story of the Alamo in its greater context so that visitors can truly appreciate not just the battle, but its connection to the river and to the other missions. And now, because of this agreement between the city, the state, and the Alamo Endowment to embark on this new master plan together, we are essentially removing all the limits we were facing geographically and financially. The pieces are now in place to ensure that the Alamo is preserved and celebrated the right way for generations to come. Before I turn over the microphone, State Representative Bernal couldn't be here today. Many of you know he got married over the weekend, and he is on his honeymoon. So we want to wish him well, and we wish he was here. But he did ask me to extend his appreciation to all those working on this successful partnership. Now I'd like to ask Ms. Ann Itzel, the Chief Clerk of the Texas General Land Office, to say a few words. Thank you very much. Ann?
Thank you very much, Councilman Trevino. Thank you all very much. It is an absolute honor to be here, and it is a great day for the city of San Antonio and for the state of Texas. Unfortunately, Commissioner Bush had a prior commitment and couldn't attend, but he has been and will continue to be very involved in the process and will continue to work closely with Mayor Taylor as the executive committee to determine the results of this new master plan. As Becky said, the Alamo is a treasure, not just for San Antonio, but to the entire state. Thanks to the efforts of Governor Abbott, Lieutenant Governor Patrick, and Speaker Strauss, the Texas legislature came together to commit a historic appropriation of $25 million to support the efforts to protect, preserve, and celebrate the Alamo. That, combined with the contributions from the city and the private fundraising of our endowment board, will enable us to build something truly great here that everyone will be proud of and will be able to enjoy. We are confident that the structure put in place through this agreement will create a fair process and one that will elicit the very best of results. We look forward to working together. Thank you all very much for your time, and I'd like to ask San Antonio City Manager Cheryl Scully to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Good afternoon. And Congressman Doggett, thank you for joining us this afternoon. We appreciate it very much. I want to say thank you to Mayor Taylor and to our council members who are here, to our city team, Lori Houston, Ed Guzman, Pat DiGiovanni with Central Partnership, all who have worked so hard on this project for so long, and to Gene Powell and the foundation members who are here this afternoon. This is a first, and we're looking forward to working with the Land Commissioner, George P. Bush, and his team and the endowment. I believe this is the first time the city and the state land department have really worked together on a project. Although, Gene, I have to say to you and Roberto, although I didn't grow up in South Texas, I have lived and worked downtown San Antonio for the past 10 years, just 5 blocks from this location. And I'm really excited to be working on this very important project over the next several years. Over the past 30 years, there have been many attempts at master plans for the Alamo, but none of those have come to fruition. And for the first time, we have an opportunity to really make something happen here, something very significant. We look forward to the development of the master plan over the next years. In 2012, our voter-approved bond program did include $1 million, and this year's adopted budget for our capital plans for 2016 and 2017 include an additional $17 million toward the Alamo area. And we know that the master plan will evolve over the next year and that there will be a request in perhaps a future bond program. Those dollars from the city, together with what the legislature has approved, the $31.5 million, will enable us to get started on this very important project. So on behalf of the city, we're looking forward to the work. There is so much happening downtown, development on the east and west ends of downtown, and we know that the master plan is about connectivity, how we make this a very special place for those who live in San Antonio, who live in South Texas, and across the nation, the millions of people who travel to see the Alamo. So on behalf of our city team, thank you for being here this afternoon, and thank you to the state for this partnership.